Let's see. I'm really hopeful that the past is behind us. I want to be optimistic. I think now we reached a point where politicians and societies know what to expect from social media platforms and where the red lines are.
Yes.
We also learned much more about the requirements coming from both them and Google/Apple. So, and our users get better educated as well at what is allowed and was not allowed. So I don't necessarily believe that things are going to get worse.
It does seem like the red line for governments is allowing organized opposition to their rule. That's what you saw in Russia with Navalny and the Ukraine crisis in 2014. That's what you saw from that Democratic member of Congress after January 6th, 2020.
Definitely, there's a pattern here. Telegram has been used by protesters in places like Hong Kong,
yes,
Belarus, Kazakhstan, even in Barcelona back in the day.
Yes.
So it's been a tool for the opposition to a large extent, but it doesn't really matter whether it's opposition or the ruling party that is using Telegram. For us, we apply the rules equally to all sides. We don't become prejudiced in this way. It's not that we are rooting for the opposition or we are rooting for the ruling party. It's not that we don't care, but we think it's important to have this platform that is neutral to all voices, because we believe that the competition of different ideas can result in progress and a better world for everyone.
That's in stark contrast to, say, Facebook, which has said in public, we tip the scale in favor of this or that movement in this or that country, all far from the West and far from Western media attention, but they've said that. What do you think of that? Tech companies choosing governments?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why we ended up here in the UAE, out of all places, right? So you don't want to be geopolitically aligned. You don't want to select the winners in any of these political fights. And that's why you have to be in a neutral place. But I think Facebook in particular has a lot of reasons, apart from being based in the US, for doing what they're doing. I think every app and platform plays its own role, and we believe that humanity does need a neutral platform like Telegram that will be respectful to people's privacy and freedoms.
Maybe from a political perspective, it seems like the most provocative thing Telegram does is offer something called channels, which seem sort of ready-made for organizing groups of people. Can you explain to viewers who aren't familiar with them what a Telegram channel is?
Yes, so Telegram channel is a one-to-many broadcast tool that allows people to quickly disseminate any message to millions of people. So there's a channel, people subscribe to it. It's a one-way communication, meaning a channel can be used by, say, a president or a head of state, and everybody else will not be able to send a message to the president, but the president will be able to send a message to all of the people who subscribe to his channel.
Yes.
Or her channel. So the point here is channels are so easy to use, and they're so deeply integrated in the messaging user interface that they became extremely popular.
So you receive it like a text.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a very familiar form for a lot of people. And since we launched channels 8 years ago, I believe a few other apps, popular apps, followed in our footsteps and copied that feature as well. They're not nearly as advanced as what we have, but it shows that it's a really high quality and demanded feature that the world needs.
I think it's interesting, and you don't have to answer any of these questions if you don't want, if it's too personal, but you're the owner, you own it. And it's very unusual, in fact, I've never seen it, to have a large business like this owned by one person. Why didn't you take, and you could have cashed in on private equity money along the way, but you didn't. Why didn't you?
Well, that's true. As of now, Telegram was 100% owned by myself, which is, like I said, quite unusual.
Well, I've never heard of that before.
The reason I tried to, stay away from venture capital money, at least at the early stages of our development, is because we wanted to be independent. We knew that our mission and our goals are not necessarily consistent with the goals of funds that could be investing into us. And also for me, it was never about money, right? So I have a few $100 million in my bank account or in Bitcoin since 10 years ago, and I don't do anything with it. I don't own any real estate, jets, or yachts. I don't think this lifestyle is for me. I like to focus on what we are doing with Telegram.
You don't own anything? Like big assets? You don't own
no big assets. Exactly.
An island in Hawaii or
no land, no real estate, nothing.
Why?
Well, because for me, my number one priority in life is my freedom. And once you start buying things, first it will tie you down to a physical location. In my view, it's my personal view. I don't have nothing against people who are buying real estate, but in my personal view, it would be like this for me. And the second reason is I like to stay focused on what we do at Telegram. So I know that if I buy a house, I buy a jet, something like that, I would be spending time on trying to make it nice. And this will require a lot of time and effort.
Would you go with leather seats or velvet seats?
Exactly. And
you're not even going to choose.
Yes. For me, I would rather make decisions that would influence how 1 billion people communicate rather than choosing the color of seats in the house that only I and my relatives or probably a bunch of my friends will see.
Interesting. And you didn't take, because I just have to say it a third time, haven't seen this before. You obviously were famous as a young man, as a company builder and entrepreneur. And so you could have really taken a lot of money and you didn't because you didn't want to be controlled.
I just didn't see any reason to do that. I had enough money to get by. Well, to be completely fair, Telegram did take outside money. We issued bonds 3 years ago. So we raised debt. And that was... And before that, we had a cryptocurrency project that also raised some funds. So there were instances where we raised outside funding. But when it comes to company equity...
Yeah, you didn't give up ownership.
We didn't give anyone ownership or voting control or anything like that. Because we also believe in efficiency. I think that having myself as the sole owner, director, and product manager for this extensive period of time in the company's development allowed us to move faster and be more
How could you be the only product manager? Are you still the only product manager in the company?
Exactly. I still come up with most of the features. I still work directly with every engineer, every designer who is implementing these features. I'm running this company because I enjoy it. I'm the only product manager because I think this is the way I can contribute.
How big is your HR department?
Zero. Well, you could say it's me and it's, because the way we hire engineers...
No, you need a big HR department. You don't think? You don't suffer without one?